Okay, we're solving exercises of math, and this time we're going to solve compound inequalities. There are two types of compound inequalities. The first one is intersection of inequalities, and the second one is union of inequalities. The difference between them is that one of them uses the word and, the other one uses the word or. In this video, we're going to talk about intersection of inequalities, which is basically a combination of two inequalities that has to be fulfilled without contradicting either one. The process we're going to follow is we're going to split the inequalities into two, then we're going to solve them individually, and then we're going to combine the solutions if we can do that. The and not necessarily needs to be on the exercise. If the exercise involves combined inequalities into a single larger inequality, that is considered also an and. So you don't need to see an and on an exercise of intersection. Different than in a union. In a union, you always are going to see the or. So let's try to see how we've used the process to solve these things. Okay. So exercise number one, we need to solve this inequality. What you can see is that there are two inequalities in one. So what we're going to do first is we're going to split. How? Well, we're going to copy this middle twice. So we're going to have one inequality, which is going to be this one, and a second inequality, which is going to be this one. So we're going to use 7x plus 1 twice. If we split it, it's going to look like this. 4x plus 16 less than 7x plus 1. And in the other side, we're going to have 7x plus 1 less than or equal to 6x plus 13.5. What we're going to try to do is always keep the x in the center. Like the x that we're looking for, we're always going to try to keep it on the center, on this side. So for this first inequality, we're going to have to move x's to the right. But in the second inequality, we're going to move x's to the left because we're going to try to keep x's in the center always. So if we move stuffs, we're going to have 16 minus 1 less than 7x minus 4x. If we perform the operations, we get 15 less than 3x. I can pass the 3 to divide. I'm going to get 15 divided by 3 less than x. And that will give me 5 less than x. So I already found one of them. Now we're going to solve this one. 7x plus 1 was the exercise. So if we move stuffs, it's going to look like this. 7x minus 6x less than or equal to 13.5 minus 1. If you noticed, in this case, I'm moving the x's to the left because I'm trying to keep x's on the center. 7x minus 6x will give me the answer x. Less than or equal to 13.5 minus 1 will be 12.5. So now that I found both of the answers, I am going to combine them. That will be the second step. First step, split, done. Second step, solve, done. Third step will be combining. So how are we going to combine these things? Well, we're going to make sure these two x's join into a single x. And then we just copy the rest. It's going to look like this. 5 less than x less than or equal to 12.5. So if you notice, these two x's are now going to join into a single x. Yes. Same kind of like from the original, I got from 1 7x plus 1. I split it into 2 7x plus 1. But now I am going to rejoin them into a single string. And this will be the first answer of the exercise. This will be the algebraic answer. So for the graphic answer, I'm going to make a drawing and I'm going to locate these points with these numbers. It's going to look something like this. With this line where we place numbers, we're going to try to locate the solutions for this exercise, which are 5 and 12.5. So on 5, I'm going to put a circle in here. And in 12.5, I'm also going to put another circle in here. Okay. Now, if you notice, the symbol for 5, it does not have an extra mark of equal. So that thing is going to keep open. The circle, I'm not going to color it because it's going to stay open. While the 12.5 has an equal mark. So that means I'm going to color the 12.5 circle. With that in mind, all I need to do is connect both circles, and then I'm going to color the inside of such thing. The inside is going to look like this. That will be the graphic answer for this exercise. Then we're going to write the interval answer. Because the 5 is open, then I'm going to put the symbol of open. Because the 12.5 is closed, I'm going to put the symbol of closed in here. So I'm going to put 5, comma, 12.5, and this is going to be closed. That will be the interval answer. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to write the set builder answer. What we're going to do is we're going to copy the letter of the exercise. So it's going to look like x, such that x belongs to real numbers. Then I'm going to put comma, and I'm going to copy the answer of the algebraic part. I'm going to put 5 less than x less than or equal to 12.5, and I'm going to close the curly brackets. That will be the set builder answer for this exercise. So those are the 4 different types of answers that we're going to put on this exercise of inequalities. We can go now and proceed with the next exercise. The next exercise we're going to solve is 3a greater than 5a minus 14 greater than or equal to 3a minus 10. What you can notice on this exercise is that the symbols are in the opposite direction. We're not going to work with symbols like that. What we're going to do is we're going to flip the entire thing. We're going to flip it like completely. So the thing that was at the end is going to be now at the beginning. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to order these things. I'm going to put 3a minus 10. Instead of putting it at the end, I'm going to put it at the beginning. Then this symbol, I'm going to flip it. It's going to look like this. Then I'm going to put 5a minus 14. The middle terms are going to stay there. And then I'm going to put less than instead of greater than. And I'm going to write the first part, which is 3a. So I'm basically flipping this whole thing. Okay. Once I flip the entire thing, now I can solve the exercise. We're always going to try to make sure these things follow always this direction, not the other one. Okay. So once I have the exercise in a standard form, I'm going to do the normal process that we tend to do. I'm going to split it, so it's going to look like this: 3a minus 10 less than or equal to 5a minus 14. And on the other side, I'm going to have 5a minus 14 less than 3a. What we need to do now is, well, solve the exercise, moving the letters to the middle part. In this case, will be letter A has to be in the middle. So I'm going to move letters in the first inequality to the right, and in the second one to the left. I need to make sure the A stays in the middle so that I can combine it at the end. So I'm going to move numbers on the left side. It's going to be minus 14 plus minus 10 plus 14 less than or equal to 5a minus 3a. If I perform the operations, it will be 4 less than or equal to 2a. I pass the 2 to divide, so it will be 4 divided by 2, and that is going to give me 2 less than or equal to letter A. Then I'm going to solve the other part. 5a minus 3a less than 14 positive. This will give me 2a as an answer, less than 14. I pass the 2 to divide, so it will be a less than 14 divided by 2. And 14 divided by 2 will give me as an answer 7. Now that I have a on these two sides, I can connect them and write a single a in the center for combining these two answers. So it's going to look like this: 2 less than or equal to a less than 7. That will be the algebraic answer for this exercise. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the graphic answer. For the graphic answer, we need to make a line, a number line. Okay, we're going to place each one of the numbers close to this answer. So I'm going to put numbers from 1, for example, to 8. On the number line, I'm going to make sure to mark number 2, which is part of the answer. Okay, so I'm going to put number 2 in here. And I'm also going to mark number 7. Because the 7 does not have the equal mark, I need to make sure that thing stays open, like not colored. Okay, and because number 2 has the equal mark, I'm going to make sure that number 2 is indeed colored. With those two things into consideration, now all I have to do is combine these two things and color in between them. If I color, that will be the answer for the exercise in a graphic form. Then I'm going to put the interval form. Number 2 is closed, so I'm going to put closed, number 2, comma, 7. 7 is open, so I'm going to leave it like that, open. Then we're going to write the set builder answer. So I'm going to put curly brackets. I'm going to copy the letter of the exercise, which is A. So I'm going to put A such that A belongs to R, comma. Then I just copy this. So it will be 2 less than or equal to A less than 7. And I close it, and that will be it. Those will be the 4 different types of answers that you're going to have to find in this type of exercise. We can proceed now with another example. In this case, we have multiplications. So what do? Well, we'll multiply before we do anything else. So if we multiply, this will give us 4x minus 20 less than or equal to 10x minus 2 less than or equal to 7x plus 34. Once we have this, we just split them. So it will be 4x minus 20 less than or equal to 10x minus 2. Then on the other side will be 10x minus 2 less than or equal to 7x plus 34. We move things in the way that we have to move them. So it will look something like this. We perform the operations. We pass the 6 to divide. And that will give us an answer of -3 in this case. -3 less than or equal to x. Now on the other inequality, we move things also. This will give us 3x less than or equal to 36. We pass the 3 to divide. And 36 divided by 3 will give us as an answer 12. Now that I found the answers, I'm going to combine this. I'm going to make kind of like a fusion. And instead of two x's separated, I'm only going to have one x in the middle. I'm going to have -3 on this side. I'm going to have 12 on the other side. That will be the answer of the exercise. Then, for finding the graphic answer, we need to make a number line from -3 to 12. So we can put more numbers, so it will be around like from -4 or -5 to 13 or maybe 14. So that number line would work. So with this number line, we just need to mark -3 here, and we need to mark number 12 here. Both of them have an equal mark, okay, which is this mark that appears in here. Both of them, they have it. So we're going to color both of the circles. Once those circles are colored, we have to connect them because the answers are between those two numbers. Once we have connected those circles, we just color inside. And that would be the graphic solution of the exercise. All of those numbers inside are the answers. Then we're going to do the interval notation. Because both of them are closed, then both of the brackets are going to be closed. The answer will be from -3 closed to 12 closed in interval notation. And in set builder notation, we just copy the letter of the exercise. We say that this variable belongs to real numbers, and those real numbers are between -3, including it, to 12, including it. And that will be the set builder answer. So those will be the 4 answers for this exercise. Let's solve one more exercise. This exercise will be exercise number 4. We have 3y minus 21 less than y minus 5 less than 2y plus 1. So this exercise is going to explain us another kind of situation where we might face some scenarios that we have not seen. What we're going to do is, as usual, we're going to split the inequality into two inequalities, copying the middle expression twice. Then we're going to solve individually each inequality. So we try to keep the letters on the middle. So what we're going to do is this: minus 21 plus 5 less than y minus 3y. This would give us an answer of minus 16 less than negative 2y. Yes. And this minus 2, if we pass it to divide, it will look like this: minus 16 divided by minus 2 greater than. Be careful on this. Remember that when you pass to divide a negative, the sign flips, right? So this is something new in this type of exercise that we need to be careful with. So this will give us the answer 8 greater than y. It's not in the way it should be. So how do we fix it? Because we don't want exercises having an answer with this sign. We want them to have this sign. So what we're going to do is this thing, we're going to flip it. How? We're going to write things in the opposite order, and we're going to flip the symbol. That's how you flip things in this case. You flip everything. I flip the y to the beginning, the 8 to the end, and the symbol in opposite direction. That's what you do in these scenarios. Now let's solve the other one. Y minus 2y less than 1 plus 5. Y minus 2y will be negative y less than 1 plus 5 will be 6. This minus of the y, it's a minus 1 that we're going to pass to the y, so it'll be, okay, made a mistake. Remember, when you pass to the y a negative, you change the sign, right? So 6 divided by minus 1 will be y greater than minus 6. Again, this is not in the way it should be, so I'm going to flip it because we don't want this symbol to stay like that. So we're going to flip everything. The minus 6, the symbol, the y. Now, if you notice, these things are in kind of like an opposite position, yes? Like we should copy them like in opposite positions. That will make it like this: minus 6 less than y, and y less than 8. And if we do that, we can see that now the y is in the center, so that we can make a combination here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put y in the middle, the symbol in here with the minus 6, and the symbol in here with an 8. That will be the answer for this exercise. Confusing, yes? With a little bit of practice, we might be able to do this kinds of stuff. So next thing we're going to do is make a number line in order to put these numbers. Do we need to put all of the numbers in the number line? Not necessarily. We could use a pattern of 2. So we're going to do in this case a pattern of 2. This number line, if you notice, it's not following a pattern of 1. It's going on a pattern of 2. You can do that as long as you respect the pattern that has been followed. So minus 6, we're going to mark minus 6 in this case. And we're also going to mark number 8. Now, if you notice, both of them, none of them, okay, well, both of them are open. None of them has the equal mark. They don't have it. So we're going to leave them both open. We're not going to color the circles. We're actually going to leave them blank. Okay. Now with these circles in blank, we need to connect so that we can color in between, because in between, yes, we're always going to color in between. So we color in between, and all of the answers in between those numbers will be the solution for the exercise, except for the edges. Number minus 6 and number 8 are not solutions, but the numbers between them, yes, they are solutions. That's the idea of this drawing. That's what this drawing tries to explain. In interval notation, both of them are open, so we would write it like this: minus 6 open, comma, 8 open. In the set builder notation, we would use the letter of the exercise, which is letter y, such that y belongs to real numbers, comma, and we copy the algebraic solution, which is y is greater than minus 6, but less than 8. And those will be the 4 answers for this type of exercise. That's how we solve exercises of compound inequalities.